Okay, here on MetalTalk. We hear the Shepherd Bush Empire later tonight. Black Star Riders are headlining.
Yes.
And I'm here with the great bass player, Marco Mendoza.
How are you, brother?
I'm fine, thank you. And how are you? And
I'm really good. How's everybody out there in Rockland? So, hello.
Welcome to sunny England.
I know.
A little bit different from Sydney.
Well, yeah, but by comparison, I mean, I've been here when it's been just gloomy and gray and wet and cold. We have sunshine, so that was cool. That's cool.
And Black Star Riders released the album All Hell Breaks Loose on Nuclear Blast. It came back to some great critical acclaim. The critics loved it, the fans loved it, and
yeah.
It sort of shut up the doubters in many ways, isn't it?
We actually we got surprised. The way this business is, timing is everything. And I think coming off of the Thin Lizzy run and Hidden in Heart like we did for 2.5, 3 years, kind of set it up for us. Of course, there's always that little concern, because changing the name, changing, the whole thing. But all in all, man, there's some great tracks, bottom line. And for the audiences that have been coming to the shows, live, we take it even a step or 2 steps further. Because I'm a live, I prefer to hear a band live and just take it further, And the recording, you can only do so much. And under those circumstances, we did the whole album in 12 days. We did 13 tracks, I believe. So yeah, it's nice to start digging into the songs, getting to know the arrangements dynamically, what to do with it, and then perform them on stage. So it's been really good, man. And we got nominated for one of the best albums of the year, which is great.
It's one of my personal favourite albums.
Yeah, cool.
I think the great thing about the album is that it's captured the spirit of the old Thin Lizzy.
Yes.
But it's also pulled it into the classic rock sound into the 21st century, and it's won you many new fans.
Yes, and that was the intention, absolutely, because under the Thin Lizzy umbrella, we just couldn't do it. We probably would have done it and probably would have gotten a lot of slack, from the old timers, the big Thin Lizzy fans, no Phil, no Lizzy, and then we would have gotten some people that hang out. But I think this is a good move. It's a bold move, if you ask me. It takes a lot of courage to do what we did, but we're doing it and we're standing behind it, and we're having a great time.
Funny enough, like last time around on the tour, you played Shepherd Bush Empire, and here you are again. You're playing the same venues.
Yes.
And obviously, Thin Lizzy's a strong name. I'm just sort of wondering if you could answer it sort of honestly. What puts the bums on the seats? Is it the Thin Lizzy name as strong as you ever been selling as many tickets this tour?
We can't deny that. That's the bottom line. However you want to look at it, we'd like to think that Black Star Riders and its music is bringing, but it's a new band. And in today's market, what's going on today, we get very little exposure, if any. We got lucky. We got 2-3 singles out. And but the budgets are really tight, and the kids out there, the new generation, the new market, they're getting pounded by thousands and thousands of tracks and projects via the internet. So you kind of need to come and hit live and kind of bring it to the forefront, But we have to say that there's a lot of Lizzy fans showing up. I would say 50 if you have to put a number to it. But they're realizing that we have something to say here, and got some new music, and the musicianship is at a very high level, and the talent is there. So bottom line, man, you come, put on a great show, make some new friends. This is a new songs. This is Lizzy, but this is a new songs.
And what can fans expect from this tour? How much percentage of the new songs with the old songs are there?
It's pretty much 50. We're trying to focus more on the Black Star Riders, but obviously because of lack of singles and exposure, I would say it's about 50-50, 60-40 maybe, and it's all well received. So people are coming in with their open minds, open hearts, and we're saying, listen, we're here to do what we got to do,
It's all about entertainment at the end of the day. It's all about putting a smile on people's face.
Absolutely. What people remember at the end of the day, at the end of the night, is, was it a good show or a bad show? Then they start getting critical about, the titles that we played, the tracks and all that, and that's fine. As long as they left going, that was a good freaking show, then they'll come back.
Of course.
And then given the chance, we're already talking about a second album for next year, given the choice, then we could work on the catalog, the Black Star Riders catalog, and then come back with, probably gonna have to do My opinion, if you talk to the other guys, I don't know. We're probably going to have to do continue playing some of the hits, the Thin Lizzy hits, because that's where we came
I
from.
think at the end of the day, a lot of fans expect that, you know. I don't think you just should worry just about the internet trolls, you know. There's a lot of us don't complain at all, but that's what we want.
Exactly. We started flying the Lizzy flag, and that was the foundation of this project. Bottom line, it got inspired by, Ricky and Damon got inspired when they went into the writing process, got inspired by the Thin Lizzy catalog, and we all do. And I've been playing Phil Lynnett's bass lines since '94, and of course
Yeah, she's been a long time, yeah.
Yeah, and then you have Scott Gorham, who's been there the whole thing. So, yeah, it sounds, Scott Gorham was a very intricate part of the sound of Thin Lizzy.
And obviously, I'm 45, and I never saw Thin Lizzy, so I want to see Scott do those songs.
I didn't either, man. To be honest, I didn't.
I saw Phil Lynne at Grand Slam. I was just missed that by a year with my Lizzy.
Yeah.
And also, you're talking about doing another album, so the camaraderie in Black Star Riders must be very good.
It is good. We're all friends. We all hang out. We're family guys, and unfortunately, sometimes we get to hang more on the road, and the circumstances are really tough, But every so often, we got together with Ricky. Ricky's family came over with my family. We live in California, so whenever we get a chance here and there, we have kids and the whole thing. But there's a lot of mutual respect, and there are some. You have to have some kind of ego to be able to do what we do. But I think we keep it all in check, and we get along pretty well.
And let's talk about this, because it's only the second night. You only played Bournemouth last night. That was the first night, and it's quite a great package actually. You got the Dead Daisies supporting, and
yes.
a young British band, Western Sound, and
yes.
It's a fantastic package. And tell us about the Dead Daisies, because I believe you had some sort of involvement in them in the early days.
The Dead Daisies, my connection to them, great bunch of cats, great artists and writers, and they're just really committed to doing some good music. But anyway, we went out and did an Australian tour supporting Skid Row, wow, Motley Crue, and Kiss earlier this year. And so we were doing that package, and the Daisies were the local, the guitar player, David Lowery, had another project that was the local band. So they would play, and we would play Motley Crue, Kiss. And I just, I was enjoying the band like I do. I really dig and appreciate when people, get out there and support what they're doing, and they believe in it. There's a passion behind it. And so I met David Lowery, and I met Matt, his management. And just before we left Australia, David Edwards approached me, and we spoke about possibly doing something together. And I said, that's what I do, man. I do music, and if time allowing, I'm there. So, but I got to tell you, Mark, I get approached by hundreds, if not thousands, of people that have a project or something, and 90% of those things never happen. So, with a grain of salt, I said, "Here's my info. Give me a call." Absolutely. And I got home 2 weeks later. I got the call. I says, "Yeah, this is happening. We have an opportunity to open up for Aerosmith." And I went, "Aerosmith? Yeah." So it worked out. It worked out. The time, I had a couple of things that I had committed to, and I was able to move recording things in LA. I was able to move it. And before you know it, I was flown to Sydney, and we were in the rehearsal with Richard Fortas and John Stevens, David Lowery, and Alex Carapetis on drums.
Because people are not too aware, there's strong names there. Richard Fortas in Guns N' Roses, Lizzy for a little while. And
yeah, exactly.
And Stone's bass player.
John Stevens from Nice Works and In Excess. And I'm a singer as well. When I hear great singing, I just go, wow. And so I said, yeah, send me the songs before I fell in love with the music. And I fell in love with John's voice. And we, before you know it, we were doing the tour for Aerosmith. Before the tour ended there, I got approached again saying, we have an opportunity to work this summer in the US with Alice in Chains and Jane's Addiction. And I'm like, what time frame, because I had some other commitments with Black Star Riders, and I had 2 albums that I had to do, one with Neil Sean from Journey, and there was a lot of stuff cooking. Dolores, cranberries. I'm really, really fortunate and really blessed. I have a lot of work, a lot of people calling me. So it worked out. Again, you know, we went out and did the U.S. and Canada with the Daisies, and we had a blast, man. It was really, really cool. So that was my connection there. The same agent that books the Daisies was booking Black Star Riders over here in the UK. And of course, that's where there was a little bit of a question mark. And in my mind, I'm going, wow, I'll be able to play with the Daisies and Black Star Riders and all that. But long story short, it wasn't the right thing to do. So I always try to think that I do the right thing, you know.
Well, this is where you can go out and fun and watch the Daisies this time.
yeah. But it doesn't come from a greedy kind of place. It just comes from diversity. And this is what I've been doing my whole career, you know. And to be on the same stage playing with two different, for me it was like, yeah. I'm always saying, I have a favorite saying when I go out on the road. If I could be on stage 3 times the amount, travel half the amount that I travel, and make, you know, double the money, I'd be a happy person, you know. I'm happy now. But, so that was that, and then I had a few talks with the boys, and politically, and I think it would look a little funny, so, because we are supporting Black Star Riders, that's a priority, so we passed on it, so they ended up calling Daryl Jones from the Stones, you know, and Charlie Gray.
I think that's quite a nice accolade to you.
Awesome, man. And I'm going, wow. So we just did our first show yesterday, and it's all good, man. I got a bunch of friends and family on the road, and Desert Sand, great boys. We've come across each other many times. Great band as well.
Did you see them last night? It's only the first night, and
I
the
did.
sort of retro 70s sound, aren't they?
Yeah, I love it, man. I love what they do. They're really raw, you know. That's what I dig.
Well, so it's a great package, this tour, and if you haven't got your tickets yet, buy your tickets, because it's one of those gigs where you don't stay in the pub, get in the doors early, because it's free great bands.
Absolutely. There's a few tickets left here and there. We're doing well here in the UK, but please come out and say hello.
You're also playing a little tiny festival in Wales on this tour, in the Hard Rock Hole Festival.
Yes.
I don't know if you've ever been there before, have you?
I want to say yes, but to be honest, I don't remember. Wow, we've done so many.
It's like a big sort of indoor, it's like kind of holiday camp, and it's full of drunken revelers. And
It sounds familiar.
Whoever
Not
goes
that we
on
don't
there,
come across that anywhere, but yeah, you know, I've been traveling to the UK for the longest time with John Sykes, with Blue Murder, with Thin Lizzy, with Whitesnake, with Ted Nugent. So it's hard to keep.
Coverdale.
Yeah, and of course, yeah.
Actually, I was going to ask you, because you've worked with some of the biggest names in rock, and out of all those, you know, who's taught you the most? Who's been the most fun to work with?
Hey, you know, I get that question asked a lot, and every opportunity that I get to work with anybody at that level, it has its own reward.
Very strong, unique characters, aren't they?
Yeah, and the first thing that goes through my mind is I'm really grateful. Bottom line, I'm grateful that my name's out there, that people are calling me, and without bragging about myself, you know, I've been sober now for 26 years. I take pride in my work. I show up. I have fun. I enjoy playing on stage. I enjoy recording. I enjoy the whole process, and I think it reflects. So people call, what's his name? That dude, man, that was playing with so and so. So I get a lot of calls. You know, definitely Whitesnake was the highlight in my career, and it will always be. You know, David Coverdale is a legendary singer and an artist, a true artist, and I fell in love with the cat. He's just a great human being, and that lineup with Doug Aldridge and Tommy Aldridge and Red Beach and Timothy Drury. We were just a bunch of brothers, and we got along really well, and we were having a blast, you know. So that's definitely a highlight. Thin Lizzy, like I said, I've been part of that since '94, through all the different lineups with John Sykes, with Tommy Aldridge, with Brian Downey on the drums, with Michael Lee, may he rest in peace, on drums, and most recently with Scott and Vivian, and then Scott and Richard, and now Scott and Damon. So, yeah, that's definitely been a big part of my career, absolutely. And I dig it so much.
Is there any phone calls you're still waiting? You know, you still waiting for? Jimmy Page hasn't phoned me yet. You know, you got any?
That's definitely a name, Mr. Page. I'm a friend of Coverdale's, I'm a friend of David's, and we met before, but I'm a big fan. Any situation comes up, please call me. I would love to be part of your legacy.
He only lives up the road, so I'll drop you off there later.
Yeah. No, definitely. I'm often asked who I would like to. Those guys, I mean, Robert Plant, Jimmy Page, come on, would love to have an opportunity to have, at any capacity,
Even if it's just a rehearsal.
Just being in the room.
Yeah.
Just being in the room when they're recording or whatever would be such a... Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, of course, The Who, those boys, and Pino is just killing it. Pino Pellegrino.
He's a very good job.
He's a friend, and I'm a fan of his too. But so there are quite a few projects that you would love to, and then the people that are no longer around: Hendrix, Janis, Jim Morrison, all those cats.
And let's pretty move away. What new projects are you working on? 'Cause I believe you're making an album with Doogie White and Finny Pichet.
Yeah, that was, we done it. That was one of the albums that came up and it worked out. I happened to be home for 2.5 weeks between tours. And management, we organized it and I did it in a couple of days in LA. I have the connections with the best studios and engineers. And
I think what's really what raises the eyebrows about this is you're working with a little young 15-year-old guitarist from Poland.
Yeah.
And they must tell me his name's Iggy Guardua, is it?
Yeah, he just goes by Iggy, yeah.
Iggy, it's easier.
And I'll tell you a little, go ahead.
How did you find Iggy?
I was going to say, the connection there as we were touring, I remember vividly, because every so often, when we're touring so much, you hear some things that kind of ring the bell. And we were in Poland, I think Warsaw or Krakow, one of those. And we came in, we usually come in an hour before we get on stage. And as we're walking in, I could hear some killing guitar. I had no idea who they were. I knew that they were a local band, killing guitar, and then I went and peeked a little bit, and there was this kid, not very tall, who looked like a girl. He was so pretty, really beautiful, but just slamming. I go, wow! I thought he was a girl. Then, within 10, 15 minutes, I got approached by his parents. His mom and dad were there, and they said, this is our son playing there, and can we take some pictures? And I said, of course. And I think they found that I was available and approachable, because I am.
I've seen that today, I've seen that outside of the fans.
Absolutely. And anytime, I'll bend over backwards to give back. But so right away, after they stayed for our set, and when we got off stage, the mom and dad, can we take some pictures? Yes, we took some pictures with Iggy, and I found him to be a really cool kid, and I found it really cool that his parents were there, the team, and because I have kids too that might aspire in the future to do some music. But so right away they said, would you consider playing on a track or two for our son? We're trying to put an album together. I said, absolutely. Here's my info. Here's my management. And again, it was one of those situations where you just think you're just talking. And I think about a year went by, close to a year. We were back and forth, and then they sent some music, and I heard some killer singing, some killer guitars, killer songs. And I said, well, if we can put the schedule together, let's do it. And then just the stars aligned. There's a lot of projects that I get called to also that I haven't been able to do because I have other commitments. And I'm not able to move around. But long story short, we did it. I went in, booked the studio. Carlos Flood, my friend, killer engineer in LA. We put it together and did the whole album. And now they're talking about possibly doing some dates. They want to come out with that lineup and do a few shows, and then obviously everybody's got...
He's busy at the moment with Michael Schenker. He's got
Exactly. So they're trying to put the dates together where we can all participate in the big coming out. And then everybody's got other commitments,
Is there a name for this band? Because I think what I've seen is just got your names on the label kind of thing. Is there a name for the band at all?
That I don't know. You would have to get in touch with them. I think they're going with Young Blood. I know that's one of the tracks which I think would be really good. Young Blood, 15-year-old slamming. with some older cats, veteran cats playing. Young blood would be, that's an idea. So we'll see. You know, if everything aligns again and we're available and we can go do a few days to help them launch it, I'd love to do it.
Fantastic. I think they've got to do some show somewhere. I think the fans demand it.
Yeah.
And you are a family man, and do your children, are they musical in any way?
My oldest son, Marco, is a bass player. Pretty accomplished. Not to brag, but he's got 3 Grammys, you know.
Oh, wow.
With this band Jaguares from Latin America. And he started a little later. And so I've yet to take pictures with those Grammys. I have to.
Oh.
He says, yeah, I'll let you borrow. But he's got them hidden somewhere.
So does he teach you some tricks sometimes?
He's a great player, I gotta say. And every time I go hear other bass players, I always learn something from them. I haven't been able to go to a lot of his gigs. He finally moved to LA. He was living in Mexico City, so we're far. So he's rotating here and I'm rotating there, and when we come together, it's just family stuff. But now that he's in LA, he's been playing with some pretty heavy players in LA, you know, places like the Baked Potato, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I have a feeling we're going to be working. He's turning into a great producer. I heard some of his productions. And he's got a great ear and a great touch. And so hopefully we'll do some work together. But
And when you are at home, what music do you listen to? Do you listen to classic rock or do you listen to other styles of music?
I like to listen to the classic rock. My iPod's on shuffle. I like it all. I dig it all. I also have an affinity for jazz playing.
So I think you play some jazz gigs.
I do, and we're talking about doing a little run next year in 2014. Manager's trying to help me put it together. But I listen to all of it, and to be honest, most of the time I don't have enough time to listen to more as I would like to because I'm always working on the next project.
In fact, like you mentioned earlier, you worked with Neil Schon again in Soul Circus, and in fact, Neil Schon's a bit of a jazz boy in the early days. But you know, you ever thought about bringing a bit of jazz into that with Neil? Yeah,
Neil has the fusion influences, you know, and he's a mind-blowing guitar player. He's mind-blowing.
One of the best.
Yeah, and he and with Journey, he has to kind of stay within those parameters. So when he gets a chance to blow, he blows, you know. And I'm lucky to be one of the cast he calls, you know, on bass. But yeah, we did the Soul Circus thing, and unfortunately, it didn't work out.
So is it going to be Soul Circus again? Is that
no, this is an album that's Neil Schon, Dean Casanova, and myself.
All right.
And,
no singer?
I'm sorry?
Any singers on it?
The 3 of us. We're all singing. So we just have fun.
Dean's a fantastic singer, actually, isn't he?
Dean is unbelievable, man. And Neil can sing. He just hasn't been doing it. So we got him to sing some tracks. I sang some. And we just had fun. And that's how Neil is. You know, he's always, that's just something I respect about a cat like him because it really doesn't need to. He's got so much going on, but he's still, he's never forgotten what it is to play and be creative. Whether it's good or great and different, who cares? Just open the doors, keep the flood moving, you know. And so yeah, he calls me, and I'm pretty accessible when it comes to style-wise or whatever. We can go here, we can go there, and so it's pretty cool. I think the album's gonna get some attention. We'll see what label. I think it's Frontiers. I think the last time I spoke to him. Now he's getting married, so he's busy with that. Last time we spoke, I think we spoke last week, it's all about the wedding. So after that, then he's probably going to pay attention to the album. But
and how about yourself? You got any solo projects lined up?
Yeah, I've been talking to a few labels. I won't mention who they are. It doesn't matter. But
you want to do it again,
yeah. And I have some cats that I would love to go into the studio. Soren Anderson being one of them. Who's always available, and he's got a great studio in Copenhagen, and I'm going to work, I finish on the 15th in Belfast with Black Star Riders. I have dates right after that, 16th, 17th, 18th, Copenhagen, Helsinki, St. Petersburg, and then down to Milano, and do some Italian dates, and finish off in Cologne for New Year's Eve, and then one more in Copenhagen. So that'll be my solo thing.
I'll say you are constantly busy, you're always doing things. I believe you was in Sweden the other day, like the Black Star Riders over at Classical Awards, you was in Sweden doing some guitar thing, and you know, so when you do finish, you go home and with the wife and kids, how do you wind down?
It's all, it's very easy for me. For me, this is mostly instinctual stuff. I have to think about it too much because I've been doing it for so long. When I get home, it's about paying attention to my wife and my kids, their school, their schedules, and that's when the real work begins. But I love it. Yeah. Without it, I just wouldn't be who I am, and it kind of, not to sound hokey, but they complete my life, in a big way. So it's all about the kids. My daughter's surfing, she started surfing. My son started skateboarding, my daughter's 10. So yeah, it's about 6:30 in the morning, 7 in the morning, and taking them to school.
They're excited to see you, so they jump in your bed and up you get.
In the morning. And we're planning a little family gathering or getaway here when I get back, and hopefully it'll be skiing. I'll see how my knee is doing. But
just before I wrap this interview up, just before we walked in, you met a fan outside, and you had about 40 CDs of yours of about the 57 albums you played on.
Yeah.
You was quite patient, you signed them all, so what do the fans mean to you?
I constantly talk about it because the reality is without the fans we wouldn't be here, and I'm one of those guys that's never going to forget that. And whenever possible, there are exceptions. I've had a few people on Facebook attack me because logistically we were running from one place to the other.
Yeah, sometimes it's a time, yeah.
And people don't realize sometimes your schedule's so tight, man, and there's so much that you have to push into 2 hours time, and even if it doesn't happen, it won't happen again. So priorities, work, but yeah, I'll take time. I mean, the timing, it's timing again. If time's right, you were hanging out, we had time available, so we did it, and he was happy, he was very happy. But every so often I'll get people that have collected everything from the beginning, The Bill Ward album was a big surprise. I'm seeing that more and more and more,
Right.
But yeah, I think somebody mentioned something like 58 projects or albums that I played on and recorded.
And if somebody wanted to dig into the heart of Marco Mendoza trying to find out what you're all about, what 3 albums would you suggest to go out and buy?
3 albums.
If you want.
Oh my God. Well, Black Star Riders is a big part of what we're doing. I'm doing this thing with the Dead Daisies. Hopefully it'll come to fruition and we'll finish it here in the next year. That's definitely another side. And my solo stuff, Live for Tomorrow, Marco Mendoza, and Whitesnake. I mean, there's so many, man. You put me on the spot here, but Thin Lizzy, again, we've done some great stuff there. We shot a lot of the live stuff past 2 or 3 years, and I think it was a great, brilliant lineup. And Ted Nugent, how can you not include Ted Nugent?
Man, we were talking about Elmer outside.
Playing and working with and hanging out with Ted is like going to school. He's history in the making, and he's been there from '63. So. And he inspires me. He really does. I tell him every time, man, you're somebody that inspires me to become a better person.
It's funny, Ted Nugent, he sort of rubs a lot of people the wrong way, but he's someone who's anti-drugs, anti-drink, he's so full of life, and he's got an answer for everything, that man.
Yes. Well, because if you really have the time, man, you ever have an opportunity to get in front of him and pick his brain, do, because you'll know what I mean. He's so well educated, well read, he gets involved. He gets involved in anything that's happening on the planet. Not his world, the planet. And then on the music side, he's Ted Nugent. Ted freaking Nugent. So, and he's got the legendary, flag that he's flying whenever he plays anywhere. And to be part of that, I had a great time. We had a great time. It was Tommy Aldridge, Ted, and myself, and it was definitely another highlight.
Yeah.
So there you go. It's hard to pick, And I always like to say that there's a lot of yets coming. If I take care of my body and my brain and I'm healthy and I'm available to do some things, maybe some of these other cats that I mentioned earlier will give a call. We'll have a great time too. So,
Marco, it's been fantastic talking to you. Black Star Riders on tour at the moment, and also get the album All Hell Breaks Loose, and you're still looking fit and healthy, and I think it's going to be a lot more many guests you're going to be playing with over the years to come. I think you're going to be around for a long time yet.
Yeah, go to marcomendoza.com. I'm always posting anything that's official, and say hello whenever you can, and I'll try to hit you back.
Great, Marco, all the best for the future. Great
Peace,
talking to you.
love and respect. Bye.
Cheers.